Welcome to iOS Insights, the channel for iOS app development using SwiftUI and Swift. In this tutorial, we will guide you through the process of building an interactive SwiftUI form that includes organized sections and form field validation. So how it would work, the user would enter their name into the form. The computer's a bit slow at the moment. I'll do it again. So the user would enter their name into the form, and then their surname or last name, email address, a password, and then confirm the password, and then click on the switch to receive promotions or not. So at the moment I just leave it as disabled, and then click on register, and when you click on register you see the information on another view that confirms the information that you entered. So this is the little application form functionality we will be creating in this tutorial. And then you can click on back as well to go back to the registration form. Within your SwiftUI project, enter within the content view. At state private var first name at state private var last name and at state private var email and at state private var password at state private var confirm password and at state private var is opt-in equals to false. At state private var is showing alert equals false. At state private var is details the details view presented equals false. So the purpose of these at state variables is to capture the input from the user by the form. For example, the first name on line 11, that stores the first name values that the user enters into the text field. And then the same goes with the last name as well. So the next thing we need to do is create a computed property. So just do this after line 18, anywhere after line 18. Var is form complete bool exclamation mark first name dot is empty, double ampersand, exclamation mark, last name is empty, and double ampersand, exclamation mark, email is empty, and then exclamation mark, password is empty. Oh yeah, and the last one is confirm password is empty. So exclamation mark, confirm password is empty. So the purpose of the property, the computer property, is to find out if the form fields have been all completed on the form or not. So it's just checking to make sure that none of the fields are empty. So each of these fields, first name, last name, email, and password, and confirmed password has to have a value. So it cannot be null or nil. The next thing we do, within the var body on line 25, just delete everything between line 25 and line 31. And now we will create our navigation view. The purpose of the navigation view is to enable the view to navigate from one screen to another screen. So this navigation view now we create our form, and the purpose of the form is to enable each of the form input elements to be displayed on the form. As I said earlier, the input elements will be first name, last name, email, password. Type in section, header, text, personal information. So personal information, that's the section header for the form, for this section of that form. So the personal information section includes attributes like first name and last name. Dot font, and then dot headline, next thing we do is assign a text field to the form. So just type in text field, first name, text, and then first name. So we need to bind the first name attribute to the text field within the form so that the information can be captured and stored within the first name variable. Oh yeah, we need a colon here as well. And then, yeah, just copy the line that we just done and duplicate it. So this will be for the last name. field. Just type in last name. And next thing we do is create another section that's called account information. So type in section, header, text, account, information, dot font, headline. Text field, let's create a text field. Just copy the previous one that I've done, and then type in email, and then the binding variable will be email. And then within the same section, we just create a, oh yeah, we have to do something else. Within the text field email, just type in .keyboard, keyboard type, .email address, .text field style, rounded, just makes it a little bit nicer, rounded text field style. And then now, what we can do is create our secured password fields. So just type in secure field, password, text, $, and the password variable, which is the binding variable for the text field. And then we just do what we've done previously, which is to style the field. Just to give it rounded corners. And then the next thing we do is create a opt-in or opt-out. We do this within the same section. So just type in. No, we do this within another section. It looks neater. So after line 39, just type in a new section, which is section header text opt-in dot font open bracket dot headline and then you can see that it's been updated on the preview, but my Mac is a bit slow sometimes, that's why I don't really use the preview all that much. But you can see that it's updated on the preview on the right hand side. And next thing we do is add a toggle. So the toggle is like a switch. So if the toggle is true, that means that the user wants to opt in. for example, to receive alerts or notifications or newsletters or some type of update. Type in toggle is on, $ is opt-in. Text, receive updates and promotions. So now just run it so you can see what it looks like in the simulator. It's just compiling at the moment. The computer's slow. It takes a bit of time on this one. Still loading at the moment. As you can see, this is what we've done so far, although it's not finished. You can enter your name here. The computer's very slow. You can enter your name. And all the other information can be entered in the other fields as well. So we continue with the rest of the tutorial. So the next thing we need to do is create another section that has the registration button. So we create this section after line 45. Anywhere after line 45, so that can be on line 46 or 47, it's up to you. Button, action, registered user. So we have to create a function called registered user. It doesn't exist at the moment. So just type in registered user or register user. After line 50, just type the following: private func, register user, guard, password equals confirmed password, else is showing alert. Oh, there's a spelling mistake in alert, so that should be corrected. I'll just refactor it. Where is it? Yeah, just refactor it the normal way, like the manual way. So alert, so it should be ALERT. No W. So that should be is showing alert, and we assign that to true. And then we just return from out the function. And the reason why it's true is because the password is equal to the confirmed password. That's why it's true. And then the next thing we do is assign the is detailed view presented to true, because everything was inserted into the form text fields. That means the form is ready to be submitted and the information can be displayed onto the next view or the next screen. So we just select is details view presented and assign true to that. And then now we go back to line 47 and continue from there. So line 47, it was to do with the button. Let's type in text, open bracket, register, and that just displays register on the text, which is the caption of the button, as you can see in the preview. And the next thing we do is type in foreground color dot white, padding dot vertical 12 dot frame max width dot infinity dot background is form complete. Color blue, or color grey. So depending if all the values have been entered into the text fields of the form, the register button will be grey or blue. If all the information has been entered into the form's text field, the button will be blue, else it will be grey. Next thing we do is add a corner radius and assign the radius to 8 so that the button has like rounded corners, like curvy corners. And then the next thing we need to do is use the disabled modifier so that when the form is not complete, that means the button will be disabled. So not is form complete. And then now what we do is we add a navigation bar to the top of the form. So just type in navigation bar title user registration. And then create an alert. So just type in dot alert is presented $sign is presented. No, that should be $sign is showing alert. And then create the actual alert, title. The title will be error. We don't need any primary buttons or nothing like that. Or secondary buttons. I'll just delete that. Message. Text. Passwords do not match. Oh, something happened there. I'll type this part again. Text. Error. Message. Text. Passwords do not match. Dismiss button. And then for the dismiss button, we just create an OK caption for that. So just type in dot default text. Okay. And then what do we need to do now? Oh yeah, we need to create a sheet. So that's on line 61. Just type in dot sheet to display the other screen. Sheet is presented $sign is detailed view presented. And then what else do we need here? Oh, there's another bracket that was missing on line 59. So there should be 3 brackets here at the end. So we just create a little comment here to say registration detail view goes here. So the registration details view, that's the sheet that will be activated when everything has been assigned to each of the text fields on the form. So now we can try to run the application again. So just click on run. We can type our name in, email address, and password. I think there's something missing. There should be confirmed passwords and password fields. I think we missed out one of the fields, so confirm password. Yeah, so on line 37, copy all of line 37 and 38, and we'll just duplicate it. So just click on paste after you copied it, and call this one confirmed password. And for the binding, just call it confirmed password. And then run it again, and now we should see the extra field on the screen. Yeah, that's correct now. So password and confirmed password. So just type in my name. Just type in any email address. Any password, just call it test, confirm password test. See, because the confirmed password is equal to the password, the button is enabled, although it doesn't display anything on the net screen because we haven't done that functionality as yet. But if the confirmed password or the passwords weren't equal to the confirmed password, then as you can see, the button is enabled, but the passwords do not match. So the next thing we do is to add the registration details view functionality and view, but that part of the tutorial will be done next week. In this part of the tutorial, we'll be focusing on the registration details view. The purpose of the registration details view is to enable the information to be displayed on that view when we click on the register button. So if I click on register now, you see that all the information is transferred from this view to the other view. And then we can also click on the back to registration to go back to the previous view. And this is what we'll be doing today. So within your SwiftUI project, create a new view called registration details view. And then click on SwiftUI view. And then type in registration details view. We need to create that view again because it didn't create the view correctly, so I'll delete it. SwiftUI view. Then enter the name, registration details view. The next thing we need to do is on line 11, type at environment presentation mode var presentation mode. And the purpose of line 11 is to enable the current view to be dismissed, as in closed, when we click on the button to go back to the previous view. Next things we need to do are type the following variables: first name, string, var last name, string, email, string, is opt-in bool. At binding, var is details view presented, bool. And the next thing that we need to do is create a VStack on line 21. So just delete the text on line 21 and now type in VStack alignment.leading spacing 20. So what this will do, each column will have a space of 20. So there'll be a gap between the first name, the last name, the email, and opt-in. Text, registration details, font, large title, font weight, bold, foreground color, blue, padding, bottom 20. So what this code does is just add some style to the registration details text view, which is this here. It adds a large title, makes it bold, foreground color blue, so that means the actual text will be blue. And then add 20 to the padding to the bottom. The next thing we need to do now is create another SwiftUI view and then call it detail row. Detail row. The previews we can delete. And now we just enter two variables, which are var title, string, var detail, string. Hstack, text, title, dot foreground color, dot gray, dot font body, dot, no, not dot, text detail, dot font body. So what that will do is when we click on the register button on the first view, what this code will do on the registered details view, it will create headings. For example, so the title will have name, and then the details part will have the person's name, and then for the other row, the title will have email address, and then for the detail part, it will display the actual email address. And the same goes with password. So the title will have password, and for the details part, it will have the actual password but in stars. So now we need to go back to the registration details view. And then online, yeah, we can delete the previews if we're not using it. On line 26 or after line 25, so you can do it anyway, you can do it on line 27 if you want. Type in detail row, and then type in first name, and then the details that's been passed in. And then we just repeat the same process for last name, email, and opt-in. Last name, email, and opt-in. Is opt-in yes, else is no. So this is just a ternary operator. It's a short version of using a if statement, a conditional statement. The next thing we need to do is add a spacer. And then let's run it to see what it looks like. So I'll just enter my name. Just enter in an email address. Oh, it didn't pick up the information. Oh, so there's an error somewhere. So let's fix that. Oh, so what the problem is, on line 67, we haven't passed the actual information to the registration details view. That's why the information was blank on the registration details view when we clicked on the button. So that's what we're doing now. So go back to the content view, and on line 67, just add the following: registration details view, first name, last name, email, opt-in, is opt-in, and then is detailed view presented. Now let's run it again. This time it really should work. So just enter my name or any name. Just enter any email, any password. See, as you can see, the information has been retrieved from the content view and it's now displayable on the registration details view. And you can dismiss the view just by dragging it down at the moment. The next thing we'll do is within the registration details view is to add the dismiss button so the user doesn't have to drag it from the top of the screen to dismiss the registration's details view. So after the spacer, after line 33, enter button action presentation mode wrap value dismissed. So this line on line 36, this will dismiss the view. So we go back to the previous view that we were on. And then for the caption, which is a text, just enter text back to registration. Then if you want to, you can just give it some style. White, padding, frame width, max width, infinity, so what that does, max width infinity, it just makes sure that the button fills the maximum width that's available on the view. Background color, background color blue, corner radius 8, and then after line 45, just enter padding dot navigation bar hidden. It's true. And now let's run it again. Just enter some details. Test. As you can see, the back to registration button is now available on the registration details view. So now we can dismiss the view by clicking on the button. As seen, it was dismissed. Or we can just dismiss it by dragging it down. So the next thing we can do is style the text fields so that there's a blue there's a blue color around the border of the text fields. So to do that, we need to create a Swift file, and we call this Swift file rounded text style. Just create a normal Swift file, not SwiftUI. And then call the Swift file rounded text field style. Import SwiftUI struct text field style function and then body configuration text field label and then returns some view. Configuration dot padding vertical 12 dot padding dot horizontal 20 and then what else do we need to do? Wait, there should be an underscore there on line 12. There should be an underscore here. Dot background rounded rectangle corner radius 8 stroke color dot blue line width is 1 dot foreground color dot blue dot font body, dot body. Let's just compile it just to make sure everything is correct. So what this code does, on line 14, it adds a vertical padding to the text fields, and then line 15 adds horizontal padding to the text field, and on line 17 it applies a rounded rectangle border with a color blue. Let's run it again just to make sure that it's working. It doesn't seem like that part's working. So let's just go back into the content view. Must be something to do with that. So the text field style. What it is, we're using the default rounded border text field style. So we should be using our customized one that we just created. So this should be rounded text field style. And this one should be rounded text field style as well. And this one just need to replace all of these to be rounded text field style, which is the customized file that we created earlier, which is this one, customized struct. And then, yeah, that should work now. And you can see the blue background now around the borders. I'll just test it one more time. Test. Test. And test. And here's the information. Thank you for joining us. If you found this tutorial helpful, please comment, like and subscribe. See you next week.